Okay, well, today's topic is inspiring tribute gifts and also spring seasonal appeal opportunities for said tribute gifts. I know that nearly a third of all giving is happening in the month of December, but our job as fundraisers is to keep it top of mind and everything year round, right? So we want to make sure that we're inspiring gifts year round. And we know that the spring season has some really great opportunities to inspire tribute gifts. So we're going to explore some creative ways to look at that, really create that maybe greater sense of urgency in this giving season to go ahead and say, yes, I'm going to make a gift with some of these meaningful opportunities. So with that, I'd like to hand it over to Shauna to get us started on today's topic.
Thank you, Marty. I appreciate that. This is such a great topic, and I'm excited to present on it. Trish, if you could go ahead and take us to the next slide, please. So really at the core of what we do, we want to, as cultivators of philanthropy, we want to evoke an emotional response to giving. We want for there to be an emotional connection, right? So truly transformational giving serves some emotional cue, whether it's joy, whether it's compassion, sometimes grief, the need to provide for someone who is maybe feeling deep grief or sadness or loss. And we know that some people give for financial benefit, or that they might just be the type of person who isn't terribly emotional. But tribute gifts are shamelessly in response to emotions. So tribute gifts are an excellent way to answer the question of how can I help, or what can I do? A funeral happens, a loss happens. And so many people are left wondering, how can I do something to make this better? How can I help alleviate this hurt in some way? Tribute gifts are such a lovely answer to that question. We've all written a check or we've put cash into an envelope after we've attended a funeral, and it is a tangible way to feel as though we're holding that family up during that time. We may not be delivering a casserole, but we're saying this person mattered. We know this hurts. We want you to think that we want for you to know that we think the world of them and of you. So let's focus also on this last word here, something. Tribute gifts can be an honor in memory of a multitude of things, right? We think naturally of a mother, a father, a grandmother, a grandfather, a child, a relative of some sort, a neighbor, but also dogs and cats, right? Our pets are our family. Like, we have to think outside of the box here. I would maybe argue that, I wouldn't necessarily argue, but I bet that there are people who would argue that fish or birds or maybe even monkeys could have tribute gifts. And also, I think that we need to broaden our horizons as well within this space, that this is going to become, in terms of our generational giving that we talked about last week, that not that we're memorializing or that the ocean is going away, but I think our different generations are going to approach this differently as well, as we have not personal things that we're memorializing, but the ocean, forest, a particular favorite sweater, maybe a phone, right? We can feel grief over lots of different things. And we all experience grief, and thankfully we all experience humor as well, so that we can keep that top of mind as we're talking through different pieces that we can memorialize. So next slide, please, Trish. Thank you so much. So we want to, as fundraisers, I think oftentimes struggle with the ability to create a sense of urgency, right? We've all been in meetings where someone says, oh, not right now. And you're trying to say, okay, that we need it now. But that sense of urgency is hard to pair along with that ask, right? We would love for you to give that money. We would ask that you consider giving that money. Also, we need it, as quickly as possible. Tribute gifts create that sense of urgency, and they are able to be contributed within that space of annual funds. They're such a powerful piece of the giving pie, the annual giving pie, because they are urgent. We have excellent opportunities to create meaningful takeaways and connect with people that might not have the opportunity to give otherwise. So it's really important also to engage our volunteers in this process, because if we have a really robust program, and I know Marty is going to talk about this later, but if we have a really robust tribute memorial program, it can take a lot of time, right? And you're generally looking at smaller donations in terms of this, but connecting a volunteer, I've had some really wonderful volunteers in the past. One that comes to mind, 94-year-old lady. She spends a lot of time um, reading obituaries, right? She knows everything that is going on with everyone. She's a staple within the community. She knows, so and so is sick and so has this. And, you're a lovely, very, very crucial busybody. And she is excellent within the space of being able to connect with that family, being able to make the connection of, have you considered such and such organization? Or if they make the connection to the organization, in lieu of flowers, please support such and such organization. Saying, I'm a volunteer there. I would love to make this connection. I would love to be able to work with you on how we can honor your mother and do something really special. Signing those cards, making sure to make the connections. Our volunteers, they enjoy this space. They enjoy being involved in tribute and memorial gifts. And it is so powerful to come from a volunteer who knows them personally as compared to the staff there. So next slide there, please, Trish. So our goal should be to make it as easy as possible for communities to give through memorial gifts. I know Marty will touch on this in a second, but let's all take a second to just think about, in terms of access, in terms of our own programs, how easy is it for our constituencies to make tribute gifts? Is it top of mind for them? Do people even consider it? Whenever families are sitting around kitchen tables and they're writing obituaries, or they are, thinking about some way to honor this loved one, they don't want their name to pass away with them. And are they thinking, oh, we should support the hospice, or we should support the hospital, or we should support the school, or we should support the children's home? Are they thinking that? Is that top of mind for them? Are they able to go onto our websites easily and see this type of information? Is it included in obituaries? Are funeral home directors aware of it? Do they know? Do we have pamphlets these different places? Are we doing all the things that we can be to make this something that is easy for our community to do? Are we making it as easy as possible? So I love this last part. The key to success is continual visible recognition. Can we do follow-ups with donors to say, thank you for the donation that you made? This is what the family decided to partner with us to do in honor of grandma. Can we institute follow-up there? Can we reconnect with them? I've seen some really great examples of families who do something annually. They turn a tragedy of a lost child into an annual support of the organization that was there for them during that loss. In lieu of birthday cards for our daughter next year, would you consider giving to the organization that made a difference for us and continues to, in her honor? Would you do this on an annual basis? There are so many ways for us to continue to work with those families in appropriate ways, right? We're all honest here. Fundraisers can oftentimes have a little sticky area there, but we're doing what's right for the family, what's right for the organization, and keeping those donors involved. The donors just as much as the ones who are honored. So I know Marty's going to give you some really good tangible items here and talk through some fun pieces as well. So I'll turn it over to you now, Marty.
Thank you, Shauna. Yes, I think, we need to look at, okay, how can we promote our tribute gifts program? And tribute gifts, I like the term tribute gifts because it is much broader than just memorial or just in honor of. And I know many of you are actually kind of this month working on a honor your caregiver campaign for, Doctors Day culminating at the end of the month, and honoring, people who have made an impact in your organizations and in your communities as well. And so I think it gives us an opportunity to look at both the memorial and honor opportunities that exist. And I think again, like how Shauna said, making it simple for people is the key to promoting this and making it top of mind. So, having some sort of piece of collateral, a simple piece that's easy to make a gift, but that exists to make a gift while honoring. I've seen sometimes where we want to almost do okay, let's just recognize someone and then make the gift piece kind of secondary. Our role is we want to inspire a gift while honoring someone. So how can we do that in a succinct, impactful piece of collateral, including a giving envelope, making a simple website link if it's a tangible piece, where it's got a slash easy, take them straight to the easy fillable form on the website. And that's not as easy said as done sometimes as well, because sometimes the type of gift that you're trying to make, there's not a form to fill in, who is this in memory or honor of. So making sure that your site is set up in a way that people can do it online is important too. So just making sure that you're having that ease of use from start to finish, both on a collateral piece as well as electronically, and checking to make sure that that's possible and it's prompting people in an appropriate way, is a key to making sure that it exists in a simple way for people to actually go ahead and make a tribute gift. This season, as I mentioned, there are so many, and I have like a calendar on the next several slides that we'll talk through. It's great to have a reason to do something, and you can choose, like I said, Doctor's Day, you can choose Memorial Day, whatever it is that you choose. There are many in the spring season opportunities if you want to do an appeal mailing to try to inspire and educate, because sometimes those mailings we know are much more about educating people. But having your mailing go out, utilizing your annual gifts team to try and do some personalization, because we know a personalized appeal mailing is going to yield a lot greater engagement, whether they take a look at it or whether they throw it into the trash can, whether they actually say, here's an envelope, a giving envelope. I might hang on to this. I didn't think about this, but the next time that I need to consider a memorial gift, I think I might consider this organization, is a really great way to, again, plant those seeds and hopefully inspire some giving in this season. Recognition opportunities. We want to make sure that we're recognizing the honorees and the donors. Oftentimes we see our recognition list and it's just the donors, and we forget about the opportunity to recognize those who have been honored, those who have been memorialized. And I think that's a really important piece to show that someone has been recognized, someone has been remembered, and that's meaningful for both the donor as well as the family, the individuals who are honored. So utilizing, newsletters, annual reports, your website, any promoting of an opportunity from a media perspective, locations on site at your facilities, remembering to include your memorial and tribute and honor gifts, and with the honorees being included on recognition lists. Again, we know that people inspire people, and names on lists definitely resonate with people. So having that opportunity to do so helps to promote the fact that you have a tribute gifts program. Next slide, please. So as I mentioned, I just wanted to throw out there some of the actual tangible dates that are approaching as we enter this spring season, because something may be very specific and resonate nicely. I think anytime we have an opportunity to be specific and make a call to action to inspire something that works well for your organization is a great opportunity for an appeal, whether it be an electronic or a mailing, or whether it be just through conversation, right? March is National Social Workers Month. The 8th is International Women's Day. And the 30th, I know many of you know already, is Doctor's Day. So all of these create that opportunity to naturally weave a story together to make an appeal. Next slide, moving into April, we have Counseling Awareness Month. The 7th is World Health Day. National Healthcare Decisions Day is the 16th of April. I think, that's an interesting component to just have in mind on your calendar. National Volunteer Week, right? Make a gift in honor of the volunteers who serve your organization. Help us thank a volunteer. Great opportunity to inspire giving that week, the 17th through the 23rd. April is Earth Day, kind of back to Shauna's comments on, recognizing and honoring in things that may be a little less tangible and more worldly. Earth Day is a great opportunity to weave a story together. And the 27th is Administrative Professionals Day, to honor our administrative professionals. May, I couldn't I couldn't not include this one. I found Older Americans Month. I don't know what older is. You just interpret that however you want, but that's a really great opportunity to do something fun with, I believe. May 3rd is National Teachers Day. For those in the education field, honor a teacher. How wonderful. That's meaningful, right? Connect, whether they're existing teachers, previous teachers, great opportunity to honor them. And then we've got National Nurses Week and National Hospital Week, again, there in mid-May. Mother's Day on the 8th, and Memorial Day, again, oftentimes the culmination of an appeal for tribute giving is very much tied to Memorial Day. That's really great. And then I had to note there, look, we're in graduation season, right? All of the graduation seasons are very great opportunity to recognize, honor someone who is having a pivotal moment in life, whether it's high school, college, all of those things. So that's nice. And then in June, we could not leave off Father's Day. And that's the only actual holiday I could find in the month of June. I'm sure there are others, but one that may clearly be appropriate to connect with our memorial and tribute giving opportunities. So now that I've reviewed all those amazing opportunities, I want to hand it over to Jake to review some great samples that we have in our resource center of places that have actually taken these opportunities and done various different things with them. So Jake, over to you.
Yes, thank you so much. And as Rocky pointed out, June is Pride Month, technically, not the right kind of pride, but it is Pride Month, so we're going to count it. The other thing that I wanted to acknowledge, just being in the marching arts very, very heavily all my life, is the reason that today is Marching Arts Day is because it's March 4th. We're marching 4th. It's a pun, if anyone didn't catch that. I just thought, I love it. And my whole news feed today is just like all my friends from all the different, military organizations that they've done, and drum corps and marching band. It's all really cool. So as you know, we have a pretty robust resource center library of pretty much every appeal and collateral and mail that any of our clients have ever sent out. So if you would like copies of any of these as a template for inspiration, or just as an example for some best practices, we're going to go through, not in terrible detail, all of these, but just point out a couple of things that we find are consistently very, very effective in trying to get some of that return rate to be up. So difference between this and kind of a normal spring appeal is it's a lot more targeted. We're not looking at kind of a mass mailing that we're doing. We're looking at people who've had an experience with the organization generally with this, honor a caregiver, honor a loved one, honor a volunteer. And sometimes that mailing list can be more broad-based, but for the most part, we're looking at kind of our closest constituency. So instead of trying to do kind of a general mailing where we celebrate if we get 1% back, we're hoping to get like 3 to 5% back. So if you look at any of these and go, I'd ignore this letter, that's probably okay. You're probably in the 95 to 97% of people who would, put this in the trash. But as of 2022, sending out physical pieces of paper in the mail is still profitable for nonprofits somehow. So when that changes, we'll certainly let you know, but this is still a viable means of bolstering your annual giving program. This is a wonderful activity kind of for your entry-level giving and your entry-level giving volunteers to participate in. So a couple of things to point out, from St. E's Foundation first, want to highlight that this is really short. They have their list of trustees, which is long, clearly. But in terms of the actual messaging, there's not a whole lot of additional information. It's just saying, here's how people have honored people in the past. We'd be so honored if you join us. And then a very, very simple form. So a couple of things that this highlights is time efficiency. Does not take long to produce this. And secondly, cost efficiency. We're looking at like 2 printed colors. So this is, of course, the extreme one end where you're looking at high cost efficiency, very economical, not doing with big printed photographs, which is a little more eye-popping, may increase your tributes a little bit, but also cost you more to print and ship. So this is kind of very basic text, kind of one end. Next slide, please. Next, we have kind of a similar example with a little more involvement, kind of describing a little bit more, starting here at the MedSyn Foundation Medical Center for Central Georgia, kind of talking about gifts of life, remembering a special friend or a tribute gift. This is the perfect gift can be difficult to find, but no gift is more thoughtful than excellent and compassionate healthcare. A little more in depth here, and signed by the head of the Development Council. So you have a volunteer who's actually sending out this letter. The volunteer team kind of came up with the language itself. So, you know, a lot of our appeals come from the executive director or the CEO or even the development team in some way. It's usually the salutation is related to the staff in some way. Really like about this one is it's kind of by volunteers for volunteers. So you're having the volunteer team saying, you know, this is coming from us as volunteers, which sends a little bit more of a powerful of a message. Really like how they do that. Over here on the right is actually from Hines Hospice. I know Jeannie is not able to be with us this morning, but this is one of theirs that they did recently for Nurse Appreciation Week. So, you know, they're being obviously a hospice, healthcare related, talking about how they care for more than 350 patients a day. You can honor a nurse, thank a nurse. You can do it digitally. You can contact us here. Again, nice and simple, a little bit of color at the top, but not expensive to produce. And they're sending this out again to their targeted constituency. This is not a general broad-based mailing, but it is to their specific people who've had an experience with the organization. And their return on this letter was actually quite good. They actually did really, really well percentage-wise in terms of gifts. The other thing it does, it's a nice touch point for people. So when they give that gift, gives you an opportunity and an excuse as the fundraiser to call that person, thank them, ask how they're doing, try to re-engage them. So sometimes when we have kind of a lapsed donor sending out a specific tribute appeal that's in the spring, kind of outside of when they normally get most of their solicitation letters, gives you a really nice opportunity to reconnect with people who you may have lapsed over the course of the pandemic, especially. Next slide, please. Medical Association of Georgia Foundation. This is an email. Want to make it clear there's not a donate button on a physical mail. So one thing that gets overlooked is people are kind of thinking through like, do we want to drop a couple $1,000s on a mailing, or even, you know, $500 if we're doing it really targeted? Is that something we want to spend money on right now? If you have an email list, this is something that you can easily do digitally for not free, because like MailChimp and those kind of client platforms tend to cost a little bit, but it's a lot cheaper than it is mailing physically. And you can talk about your mission and have some very specific things. The next thing it allows you to do, of course, is include a lot more digital imagery and photos and graphs if you're able to do that. So here's just a couple examples where you can say almost the exact same thing, and appeal to a specific tribute gift surrounded by some sort of holiday. But if you're thinking, I really don't feel like we can do this physical mailing right now, at least try to do it sometime in the spring through your big email list, whatever the biggest email list your organization has. See if you can get something sent out to everyone, because you usually get a pretty good return rate. And if nothing else, it's a good informational touch point. One thing you'll notice about this one on the right is they talk a little bit more about the program and the project. There's some links that you can read more about the campaign. So it acts also as an informational piece that allows you to do that a little better on email. For a snail mail, you're kind of limited by paper, real estate, and also if it's long, dense text, people don't necessarily read it. Whereas an email, you can package a web page into a link from an email. So it allows kind of the skim, give me the Cliff Notes version. But also if I do want to know more, I have the opportunity to click and read more in depth. So just some advantages of doing it the more cost-effective way electronically. Next slide. A couple of holiday specific ones, you know, as Marty mentioned, there's several holidays coming up in the spring that we can pick. We chose Valentine's Day because here's just some recent ones that you can kind of look at to see what people have done. You have the imagery that's very much related to that holiday, so it feels themed to the week in addition to being themed to the organization, and can make it very, very easy to, hey, we're not just dealing out of the blue. We're not sending this out of the blue. This is actually a thing that we're doing for this holiday in honor of someone. If, you know, this is our love. If you can help us support in this way, this is how we do it. Always that call to action, though, being click here to donate, or log on to this, or join our group or something. So when you have these appeals electronically, making it very, very easy, 1 click away, 2 clicks away at most, being able to get back and actually give that gift. Next slide. And then this is the last one, also Frederick Hospice. I had some people on from this. This is kind of a different approach. It's in honor of National Doctors Day. Frederick County is deeply appreciative of the doctors who partner with us. So this is a little bit more on the thank you side. So instead of doing an appeal, one kind of alternative you can do if you say, man, we just sent out our spring appeal, or we had an early January, late February appeal, whatever you might have. We don't want to be hitting the same constituency all the time. You know, they keep telling us to not ask for money so often and ask for bigger gifts. What if we want to send out something in the spring and not necessarily do that? Being able to use those holidays as a way of thanking and just as kind of a touch point with your donor base is a really easy way to do this. Again, cost effective, can be mass produced and sent electronically so that you're not able to do that without a lot of cost, which is often very much important for us as we're moving into the spring and summer and have a lot of other things going on other than trying to get mails and appeals sent out. So again, those are just a short sampling of examples. We have tons more. If you'd like copies of these or some other ones, please just let us know. We can follow up with sending you some templates and examples to work with as you're kind of preparing your own set of spring collateral that goes out. And with that, I will turn it back to Marty to wrap us up.
Thank you, Jake. Before I kind of go through some key takeaways, Donna Steins, can I ask you quickly? I know that Donna is doing kind of similarly a thank you, but also a highlight recognizing some doctors in an appeal format as well for Doctors Day coming up this month. Donna, do you mind just sharing with everyone what you are doing there?
Yes, so we have created these cards. And it just says, thank you, happy Doctor's Day, thank you for all you do. And we are mailing these to every physician in our system. We did get their home addresses and we plan to mail those out as a thank you to them. We are also highlighting 4 doctors throughout the month of March on our social media pages and asking them to donate to our campaign in honor of the doctors. And really, throughout the month of March, we're just doing throughout just the foundation and our healthcare system, we are promoting that people can honor their doctors and give donate in honor of their doctors as an appreciation to the doctor, but also as to help us in our fundraising efforts. So.
And I wanted Donna to share because I think last year they had a missed opportunity. Their marketing department did sort of a like, yay, thank you for doctors. And they didn't have any tie-in with the foundation and the opportunity to support the campaign. So we got ahead of that this time and we're able to weave it in a very natural way and still thank, but still have the opportunity to make the gift. And I think that that's, you know, oftentimes we look at things and we're like, oh no, they did this without me knowing and missed opportunity. Obviously there's other opportunities and the next year making it work for us is a really great thing. So thanks for sharing with everyone on that, Donna. So with that, I just wanted to kind of highlight some key takeaways from today. I think the goal, as we said, is exposure and touch points, right? You might not receive immediate gifts, but having the tools to promote the idea of tribute giving makes your program top of mind when opportunities arise, right? I think we keep that exposure and touch points going and good things will happen. Of course, really great to get some cash gifts in hand as we move forward and to get, you know, broaden our donor base and get people involved. That's a great, you know, kind of first gift, an introduction to the giving opportunity and an opportunity to build on relationships as well. Utilizing various different avenues. Hopefully you got enough ideas and samples to plant the seeds, you know, utilizing mailings, social media, email, and also those face-to-face conversations is key to having a robust program and having an ongoing success in the area of tribute giving. I love using holidays as an opportunity to create that sense of urgency and to have the opportunity for a meaningful gift giving. I think that's what's so special about tribute gifts is in the world where sometimes we feel like we're on this hamster wheel. How do I get people to say yes? I've been, you know, they've indicated they have an interest in getting involved with our organization, but there's just not that thing that's causing them to say yes. There's a great opportunity through tribute gifts to both make it meaningful and to create that sense of urgency to say, today's the day, I'm going to support this organization. Again, recognition is key, expression of gratitude to the donor, recognizing honorees in a special and memorable way makes it meaningful for them and their relationship also with the donor, right? Like let's say we have a doctor who we've never been able to talk to, who is honored because of Doctor's Day, and they now feel special and a great connection to the person who made the gift, but we also now have their attention on what we're doing. So whenever someone is honored, it has really that triangle effect of feeling that relationship deepen, which is so great. And then also having the opportunity, if it is someone that we're recognizing that's with us and a part of what we're doing, recognizing them in front of their peers helps and inspire and it inspires positive actions moving forward, right? If I'm recognized because of someone through a gift, then my peers are going to be like, well, how come Marty was recognized? How do I get that next time? And hopefully that's going to inspire positive actions to hopefully inspire people to get involved and make a difference as well. And as we always say with recognition, it is there to express gratitude, but it's also helping to generate exposure for your program. So if you have a list of here are all these memorial gifts that have been made, all these people who have been recognized, or here are all these doctors who have been honored during Honor a Caregiver Month, that is going to generate exposure. Wow, I never even thought of that. I never knew that was possible. So next time it's top of mind and they know that it is something that you have. And last but not least, remember to engage your volunteers to help spread the word. This is an opportunity to make meaningful connections, to have many hands make light work, and in the area of an annual gift that can be a tribute gift. So with that, I'd love to open it up for questions as we wrap things up for the day. Does anyone have any questions, additional comments, things that they're working on that they want to share? Yes, Shauna.
I would just like to draw attention to Steph's hilarious message of Cornell's Vet Hospital in Ithaca, New York, had a department named after a pig named Nemo. See?
Thank you for, I'm sorry if I missed some of the chat sometimes. Thank you. That is so fun. Oh my goodness.